Counsel, I'm having a whole lot of problem here. You just started this section on saying that you couldn't charge 924C because it has a 5-year limitation. So we're going to hypothesize that you could have, and if you did, that you wouldn't have violated the double jeopardy clause. That's what you want us to do.
So Justice
Sotomayor, hypothesize that you could have and wouldn't.
Justice Sotomayor, I think what we're asking you to do, so let me rephrase this. I think Petitioner was very clear in his briefs that there's no anomaly on his reading. There's no problem with saying that J doesn't incorporate the C penalties because the government can also bring a C charge whenever it can bring a J charge, with the exception of statute of limitations questions, which are sort of on a different
Well, that hurts you too because it makes it different not just in terms of the maximum, but also gives you a greater statute of limitations than C does. So there's a lot of reasons to treat J differently and separately, because you're getting two benefits. One, a greater maximum, and second, a longer statute of limitations.
I certainly understand that, Justice Sotomayor. Of course, our fundamental submission is that Congress, having given us those things, it's irrational to didn't think that at least the mandatory minimum for the base offense was required.
Well, we go back to Justice Jackson's question. If we can't know what Congress was thinking, except that it knew to add armor in C, and yet it created J separately. And what it did in J was to raise a statutory maximum and give you a statute of limitations benefit.
Of course, it did the same things in C5. I think the better understanding of C5 is probably...
No, it didn't. It made a minimum of it didn't. It just added armor piercing.
No, C5B does give you a maximum sentence of the death penalty, and therefore would give you the heightened statute of limitations.
Too, and it just didn't. So
well, I think the better explanation on C5 is probably that armor-piercing ammunition is sort of a flavor with the other enhancements that are on C throughout, so machine gun, different types of weapons, things like that. And so C5 may have been included there. But of course, I don't have a legislative history cite for you on that. We're all just speculating about what Congress did, what it did here.
Maybe we should just go back to the language.